Okay guys, welcome back. Somebody messaged me a few days ago and they said, Wayne, just how did you manage to travel for so long? How do you make your money last? And so today I'm coming in with my top 10 tips for how to make your money last and how to prolong those travels. Hot at number one is shop around, and what I mean by that is just not taking the first price that comes to you, whether that be for flights, whether it be for hotels, or whether it just be for a meal. Don't always accept the first price, because I guarantee you 99% of the time you will find a better deal. So what we want to do is use the tools available. Use Skyscanner, use Agoda, but don't just stop there, take it to the next step. If you find a flight on Skyscanner, great, looks like a brilliant deal. Now let's go check out direct with the airline. Let's see if they're offering a better price. You're on Agoda and you're thinking, wow, this hotel looks brilliant. Okay, use social media, get on Facebook, see if they have a WhatsApp number, message them direct. Very often you'll find that these websites are taking a commission, so by going direct, you will get a better deal. Point number two is get the local price. You, as a tourist, are going to be seen as Mr. Deep Pockets, Mrs. Flash. You're going to be seen as a way for locals to make money, and rightfully so. You're a rich tourist in their country. However, don't use that as an opportunity to be ripped off. Get the local price means speak with the people who live in that area. They best know how much a taxi should cost, how much a meal should cost. What's the cost of this attraction? Am I being ripped off? Believe me, I've learned this one the hard way. Many times I've paid for tuk-tuks, transportation in places, and I found out much later on, people laughing at me, telling me that I've been completely ripped off. So what might seem cheap to you, in the long run will add up as a big cost if you're getting ripped off every day. Ask the locals for information about the genuine local cost. Number three, be flexible. Now, I don't mean, touching your toes, all that kind of stuff, because I cannot do that. What I mean by be flexible is be open to maybe changing your direction, changing your plans, not having a strict itinerary, essentially. An example for me, I was in Sri Lanka and I wanted to go over to Vietnam. Now, I check Skyscanner and I find that actually much cheaper flights go to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. That's on the way to Vietnam, so it didn't stop me from going to Vietnam, but I took that as an opportunity to kind of sandwich it in the middle. Then flights were far cheaper, I had a brilliant time in Malaysia, I saved money, I seen more things. The whole aim of this, guys, is to travel for as long as possible and to see beautiful places, so be flexible. Number four, don't be a pig. When you go traveling, things cost much cheaper than they do in our countries. It's a fact, it's a given, it makes traveling wonderful, but it does make people gluttonous. And so when you go to a restaurant and you see that that meal costs $1, take that as an opportunity to save some money. Don't take it as an opportunity to feed yourself with 12 different meals, because you're just gonna spend a load of money, you're gonna feel sick. What a waste, eh? Now, the second point on that, and this one is a very difficult one for me because I am recording this right now with a beer, but it's don't drink so much beer. Believe me, I spent so much money when I was doing this. Every day, you get these ginormous bottles of beer, like $2, and you're thinking, wow, this is great. 13 beers later that day, and you're thinking, oh my God, what have I done? What do you do the very next day? You do it again. So, don't drink so much beer, have your fun, make friends, go out drinking beers, do it, just tone it down a little bit. You don't need to have a beer with every meal just because it's cheap. Now, the third point of this tip, one of the biggest things of traveling is food. See my man here, Anthony Bourdain, he taught us all that food is the quintessential part of travel. Eat the local food. It tastes good, but most importantly, as someone who's trying to extend your money, trying to make your travels last as long as possible, it's cheaper. Western food is nice, it gives you a break when you're traveling, you need that change in your taste buds, you need a reminder of home, but often it's much more expensive, doesn't taste as nice. Just eat the local food and believe me, you will save a fortune. Now, Tip number 5 is a painful one for me, because when I was planning my travels, all I kept hearing about was Revolut, Revolut. And did I get a Revolut card? No, I didn't. One of the most annoying costs when you travel is withdrawing your money at the ATM. Bear in mind, a lot of these places are not gonna be like our countries where you can just tap your card, and you probably wouldn't want them to be honest. So what you do is you withdraw money at the ATM, but of course you're in a foreign country, so you get hit by the local bank for withdrawing that money, and you get hit by your bank with an international transaction fee. So I was withdrawing money from the ATM and it's costing me a fortune every time. So get a card like Revolut. Now this is not going to make the fees 0, but on a Revolut card you can hold multiple currencies. You might be in the UK with pounds or in America with the dollars, and you can split that. You can put Thai baht, whatever it is. So when it comes to withdraw the cash in that country, the fees are going to be less. When you take money out at an ATM, withdraw the maximum amount possible. You might not want to carry large amounts of cash around, but if you're paying $10 every time you withdraw money, you want to get the maximum for that, because very quickly you're withdrawing 6 or 7 times a month. You can see how that adds up. Number 6, this is do your research. Now this is a little bit different to tip number 1 about making sure you get the best price. Do your research means that, you know, when you are thinking of going to a place, check it out online, check it out on Instagram. What kind of experiences are available in that place? Is it going to be a bit of a waste of money going there? And in addition to that, when you actually want to do something, do your research and find out, is there an alternative? Because often the alternatives are just as good and they're vastly cheaper. When I was in Sri Lanka, I go to this place called Sigiriya Rock. What is it, you ask? It's a big fucking rock sticking out the ground. Costs $30 per person. It's an absolute cash cow for the Sri Lankan government. Beautiful, it's great, it's historic, whatever. Across the way, there's a hill. Now you can go up this hill, it's like $2 or $3, and when you get to the top, minus all the crowds, you get this crazy, beautiful, amazing view of the icon Sigiriya Rock. So, save some money, do your research. Are places worth going to, and are there alternatives to them places? Okay, number 7, for those of you who love a good sleep, who love your bed, you're not going to really like me much for this one, but the experienced travelers out there will tell you that this will save you a buck. Traveling overnight, taking the buses, taking the trains, it's not always the most comfortable, not always the most enjoyable experience, especially if you get someone in your bunk on the train who happens to be a snorer or whatever. But taking your transport overnight is going to save you on accommodation costs. Don't take the train or the bus in the middle of the day and then pay for a hotel in the night. Take the train or the bus during the night, save the accommodation. Again, those experiences sometimes can be quite painful, but as an experienced traveler, believe me, sometimes the worst experiences are the most memorable. Tip number 8 is stay in each place for as long as possible. Now you're a traveler, right? You want to be moving, you want to be going to new places, but if you're changing countries and moving very frequently, you're going to be incurring lots of costs for airplanes and other travel. By staying in one place for longer, you're effectively spacing out the time between those costs. If you're in Thailand, you've got a 30-day visa, try and stay the full 30 days. If you're in Chiang Mai and you're really enjoying it, stay 4 or 5 days, not one night. If we can cut down on our flights, on our travel, by staying in the same place for a little bit longer, you're going to save an awful lot of money over the space of a month. Okay, tip number 9 is don't overpack. Now, as well as this being a practical tip, it is going to save you money. I've seen people carrying pots, pans, sleeping bags. Where are you traveling to? You're not staying in a hostel? I'm not sleeping on any beaches, I know that. But why is this important? You don't want to be going through the airport and them telling you, hey, Mr. Gibson, you're 4 kilos over on your weight luggage. This is going to cost you an extra $300. Something which to me sounds common sense. You want your travels to be comfortable. You're going on this spiritual journey of realizing that you don't need all of these possessions. Just leave it behind. It's gonna be more comfortable. You're gonna feel a better person for it, and your wallet will thank you. Tip number 10 might seem obvious, but very few people actually act on it, and it's just make more money when you're traveling. What better way to extend your money than making more of it? So if you have a skill which is in demand, maybe you like making videos, maybe you're a hairdresser, take your clippers with you. Make some money on the way, but please don't do this illegally. Make your money legitimately, make it lawfully. If you have a skill, transfer that into money that you can make when you're traveling. So these have been my top 10 tips. I'm going to be making more videos on these particular topics: what to pack, how to plan your travels, how to make great travel videos. I'm not really an expert on that one, to be honest. If you've seen any of the other videos, you know that I need the practice. But like the video, if you have any top tips, put them in the comments, subscribe, because a little birdie says that I'm going traveling again next year. So come along on the videos, watch, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Saturday night, see you later, adios.